So welcome to the Beanie 4 Days design, another hooks and tails adventure. Although this is not such a big adventure, not like the blocks or the blankets. So what I'm making here is just a very simple beanie. I've been looking for some nice simple beanies that are suitable for the weather that we have here in Cape Town. So our weather is a little bit different to the rest of South Africa. We have a more Mediterranean climate down here, so our winters are wet and rainy, and our summers are dry and hot. But our clothing choices throughout the year are basically layers. So we can experience 4 seasons in one day, literally. It's quite crazy. So it makes no sense to have an Arctic style beanie in Cape Town, because the day can start off cold and the afternoon can be warm and breezy, and the evening can be mild and rainy, and that's a typical sort of winter day for you. So I wanted to make a beanie that was, first of all, just color block, so just one plain color that can go with everything. And so I decided to make them in my favorite colors. So this one, the one I'm busy working on now, I've made it in this sort of creamy white. So I'm halfway through that. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to be using this pink. And I'm not sure if I'll wear the pink though. I'm not really into pink beanies. So I prefer sort of natural, earthy colors. I wanted to make a beanie that was very unfussy, but still had a little bit of interest. So that's why I created the texture. And I mean, you can embellish it with a pom-pom, all those like fake animal fluffy things that you can put on the top. So I've kept it very plain. I think it's pretty unisex. And the size that I've made is for a small adult. So the circumference measures 6 inches, so 6 inches across, all right, and the length is 7 inches, and so this is the crown, I should say the crown. So the crown measures 6 inches, the length equals 7 inches, and the circumference equals 20 inches. But in the text pattern, I've actually included a chart for all different sizes, so you can just adjust as you go along. You can adjust for the size that you're looking for. So the yarn that I've used here is the coffee cotton. Now the coffee cotton is a locally sourced yarn. I don't think it is local to South Africa. It's imported from, I'm not actually sure where it's imported from, but I order it from KO Bazaars here in South Africa, and it's very economical. It's so it's a DK weight yarn, but I found it a little bit thicker, so I'm using the recommended hook size is 4.5, but I've gone up to a 5.5 because I really wanted a more sort of open weave, so that because I get a very hot head because my hair is quite long, so I wanted this sort of open weave design, so it would be, it's a really light but warm beanie, right? So the coffee cotton comes in 100-gram balls, and here are the specs. So you can see it has 60% cotton, 25% pan fiber, which makes it actually quite stretchy, and then coffee extract, 15%. So I could not pass this up, could I? if you know me and my videos or my blog, etc., etc., you'll know that I love coffee. I'm a coffeeholic. Right, so it looks like that, and there is some sort of writing or something there, but that's not Chinese. It's from somewhere else. Product, but it doesn't say where it's from. But yeah, there we go. So I'm sure our foreign Asian ladies will understand. That's one of the reasons why I'm making the video, is for all the lovelies that join me for these patterns who don't speak or read English. Okay, so coffee cotton. You get 198 meters or 218 yards for 100 grams. And I used about half. So I used about 50 grams. All right, so I think that's enough yakety yak. There are 21 rounds and it's pretty repetitive, but I'm going to show you anyway because there's a few little tricky bits. And as I said, I do make the videos for the ladies who can't follow the text version of the pattern. Okay, so I'm using the pink, and we're going to begin for round number 1 with 4 chains. So we're just going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll slip stitch into your beginning chain to make a little ring, right? Now for round, so that's your round number 1. Your round number 1 is to create a 4 chain ring. Then you'll chain 3, and working over your tail, you're just going to work into the ring of that, the little circle in the middle of your ring, and we're going to make 15 double crochets. So I'm including, so it's 15 double crochets all together, including your chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And now you're going to slip stitch into your first double crochet to close like that. Okay, so that's basically round number 1 and round number 2. Now what we're going to do is, for round number 3, we're going to chain 3, so that is equal to 1 double crochet, right? And then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to be working into the back loop. So it's the loop behind the back loop. So now you have to be careful because our first stitch, our first double crochet is over here, and that is the front loop, that's the back loop, and you're going to work into that loop, right? And we're going to work 2 double crochets. So this is why I thought I'd make the video, because although I'm writing down exactly in the text version of the pattern what I'm doing, it could be a bit tricky. Right, and then you're working 2 double crochets into the next back loop. I don't know what it's called technically. I just call it the back loop. I always have. So it's a loop behind the back loop. And now what you want to do is create 30 double crochets. So you're working 2 double crochets into those back loops. All right, so I'm just going to do the whole thing, very boring. You can just fast forward. So the reason I'm doing this section is, as I said before, for the ladies who can't follow the text pattern. Okay, so you can fast forward. Whoopsie. So I'm hoping that the lighting is good because it's a very, very grey day here in Cape Town. And I've had to use my lamp. I'm sure it's fine though. Right, so working into those back loops. Right, as I said, just fast forward if you know this is like watching paint dry. So just make sure that you do get into, so this yarn is a little bit splitty, but it's actually fine. Right, so now we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Working into that last one there. So now we have 28 and our chain 3 is 29. Now how we're going to create 30 is, if you look at your chain 3, right at the bottom there's a little loop over there, and you're just going to make a double crochet into that loop like that. And now you're going to slip stitch. So you're going to, so there's your chain 3, and you're going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet like that. And now you should have 30 double crochets, right? Now, if you want to increase the size of this beanie, instead of doing 15 double crochets in this section over here, round 2, you can do 16, and then you're going to follow the same formula, okay, except you'll have one extra section. So you'll see, as maybe the best way to explain is like this. Okay, so we're going to create these little sections over here where we have in the crown section we're using treble front posts. So we're going to, in this section here we have 15 treble front posts, okay, and then in between your treble front posts we're doing little increases. So we have 1 double crochet, then 2, then 3, and then 4, like that. Right, so now if you want to increase the size of your beanie, you would have 16. So you'd have 16 treble front posts, and you'd have 16 of these sections. And the same applies if you are going to make your beanie smaller. You'll have 14 or 13 or 12 little sections. Then just remember you would have 12 double crochets. So now I have 15. If you're increasing, you'll have 16. If you're decreasing, you'll have 14 or 13, depending on the size of the person that you make, the head size of the person that you're making the beanie for. Okay, so this is why this pattern is nice and easy to upsize or downsize. Right, so now we've done a slip stitch into our first double crochet from our previous round. Now, this is again a tricky bit, and that's why I want to do the videos. You're immediately going to, oh, sorry, that's my my tablet. I forgot to turn it off. Right, so now you have your chain 3, which is that first double crochet. Now you're going to yarn over twice, and you're going to work a treble front post over that very first chain 3 from our previous round. Now, when I was designing this, I made a single crochet and then did the treble front post, but I found that you could actually see that that chain 1. So I just eliminated it. So now you basically go directly into doing a treble front post over that chain 3. Then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next single crochet, yarn over twice, and then over the next, 1 double crochet over the next double crochet, not single crochet. Then you're going to work a treble front post over the next treble front post, and then a double crochet, and then a treble front post over the next double crochet front post. Sorry, I'm actually very distracted. It's Father's Day today, and my husband is making us a breakfast. He's the father, and he's making us a breakfast. But he's making so much noise in the background. Can you hear him beating the eggs? Mr. Hooks and Tails. Okay, then, all right, so this is the formula. So you work a double crochet and then a treble front post, a double crochet and a treble front post over the next double crochet, a double crochet into the next double crochet, and a treble front post over the next double crochet, and double crochet, treble front post. All right, so I'm going to meet you. So you're just going to carry on alternating like that, and you should end up with 15 treble front posts and 15 double crochets. So I'll meet you at the end here. Okay, so now we have our 15 treble front posts and our 15 double crochets. So I'm going to work the last double crochet, right? So it's going to look like that. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet. So there's the treble front post, there's the double crochet. We're going to slip stitch into that double crochet like that, and then again yarn over twice, and to begin our next round we're working a treble front post over our next treble front post like that. Okay, and then we're going to be working, so now we have 1 double crochet. So now what we want to do is increase our 1 double crochet section to 2 double crochets. So we work 2 double crochets into our first double crochet and a treble front post over our next treble front post, and 2 double crochet into our next double crochet and treble front post over the next treble front post, and so on. Okay, so now you're just going to work that all the way around, and you should end up with 15 treble front posts and 15 times 2 double crochets. But I shall see you at the end here, and we'll finish this round off together and begin the next one together. Okay, so see you there. Okay, so we're getting to the end of this round, and we're going to make our last 2 double crochets, right? Okay, so it's going to look like that. So you're going to have 15, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 treble front posts and 15 2 double crochets, 15 sections of 2 double crochets. Okay, so you should have 30 double crochets. And now to finish off this round, again, you slip stitch into the first double crochet, yarn over twice, and that's it. So I'll carry on in a moment with the next one, but I still have to take photographs. So, okay, so that is the end of your next round, right? And of course, if you want to, you can work in your. I usually leave this right to the end. It doesn't start coming apart or widening. So I haven't worked in this end yet, but you can work in that end if you like. All right, I do that right at the end. Okay, so I shall see you at the next round. In the meantime, yarn over twice. Okay, so to begin our next round, we just yarn over twice, and we begin exactly the same way as we did with our other round, with the previous round, right? So we're just working a treble front post as we did before, but this time we're going to be increasing our 2 double crochets to 3 double crochets. So we're going to start with 1 double crochet into the first double crochet and 2 double crochets into our second double crochet. Okay, yarn over twice and a treble front post. 1 double crochet into the first double crochet, 2 double crochets into the second double crochet. 1, 2, yarn over twice, treble front post. Okay. Okay, so you're just going to carry on all the way around like that, and then I shall meet you up at this section over here after our last treble front post. I'll see you there. Okay, and I've made my number 15 treble front post. We're going to work 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets. All right, and then we're going to finish off by working a slip stitch into our first double crochet, and it's going to look like that. Okay, we'll just put that up a bit. There you go. Right, so the next time we are going to increase our 3 double crochets, and we're going to be making 4 double crochets. So I shall see you in a minute. Not in a minute, in a moment actually. So yeah, I have to stop at each section and just take a photograph so that the pattern has lots of pictures as well. So you can't go wrong. And now we're going to begin our next round exactly the same way as we did before. You're just going to yarn over twice and work a treble front post over that treble front post, our very first treble front post from the previous round. Okay, now into our double crochets we're going to be making 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet. So now we have 4 double crochets. Yarn over twice, treble front post. Okay. then 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and a treble front post. Okay, and so you're going to carry on all the way around, and then I shall meet you again after our last treble front post. Okay, and here we are, finishing off this little section with our 4 double crochets in between. So in the written pattern I have the rounds. You know, I have the instructions for each round, but you know, because we're not really closing off, you know, we're not really fastening off. Augusta, Miss Augusta. Oh. She's just scratching her nails on the carpet. Hey, naughty girl. Okay, so because we're just closing off and not fastening off, I'm just kind of just going on, you know. I'm not making such a big distinction between each number round. Right, so now again we're just going to close off this round with a slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet. Right, okay, so you can see how the crown is developing now. So now our next round we're going to be doing something slightly different, because now I've reached more or less the dimensions that I wanted for the crown. So, oh, I said 6 inches. No, it's a little bit bigger. 7 inches. I actually wrote it down. What did I write? Dimensions. Oh, right. Crown, 7 inches. Length, 8 inches. Circumference, 20 inches. So not 6 inches. 6 inches if you have a very small head. Okay, so it's 7 inches, or just under 7 inches, but we're still going to do one more round. Okay, so now I'm going to see you at the next round. Now for the last round of our crown, we're going to begin the same way as we did before, just going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work our treble front post over the treble front post as we did before. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work another treble front post over that same treble front post from our previous round. So now we have two treble front posts and a chain 1. Then we're going to skip our first double crochet, and we're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over twice, treble front post over our next treble front post, chain 1, treble front post over that same treble front post. Skip the first, so we're going to skip this double crochet, and we're working 1 double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. Treble front post over the next treble front post, chain 1, treble front post over the same treble front post. So you're going to have those little holes in between. So I call them my crown air holes. Because I go walking a lot, and especially in the winter when you're wearing a beanie, and the weather is, as I was saying in the introduction, in Cape Town our weather can change literally from one minute to the next. We can have rain, we can even have snow, we can have howling winds, And then half an hour later, we have blue skies and the temperature is 25 degrees Fahrenheit. No, not Fahrenheit, Celsius, the other one. So, so I don't like very close-fitting beanies, ones that just make your head very, very hot. And I found that this was just absolutely perfect. Okay, so so I call these little air holes. All right, so now you're just going to carry on like that, and then I shall meet you again at the last treble front post over here. We can work the last two together and this section, and then I'll show you how to finish off and start the next round. So see you there. And we're going to finish up with our last two treble front posts. Chain 1. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to skip the next double crochet and 1 double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. Now, to finish off this round, we're actually going to work a slip stitch into the top of the first treble front post. It's a little bit tricky, but there we go, like that. Okay. So now you're going to have 15 sections of 2 treble front posts. You're going to have 15 chain 1 spaces and 15 times 3 double crochets. So you'll have 45 double crochets. Okay. So I shall see you. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the length. So the length is 12 rounds or 12 rows. No, not rows, rounds. Because rows is when you're not working in the round, right? So this is where you can fasten off and you can change up your color if you want to have a different color. And of course you can use, you know, here I am just using one color. So basically you have 2 tails to sew in. You have this tail to sew in and your very last one, your finishing tail, right? But of course, if you have lots of colors, or you're going to use some color work, you know, where you're working 2 strands together, you might want to do your treble front posts in one color and do your sections in between, your panels, in a different color, and then you work 2 strands together. So that's for you clever sticks who know how to do that. So I was, you know, I was thinking along those lines to do something a little bit more, you know, do some color work and that. But actually, because I was making these primarily for myself, I just wanted very plain colors, very plain colors. I'm not sure if I actually said which colors I use. So this is called gold green, although I think it's more like avocado. And then this color is bark, which I like. And this color was rusty, something or the other, something with rust. And this was the camel. And then of course I'm doing one in sort of a cream, so kind of a bit of an off-white color as well. Then of course I'll have a pink one after this as well. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I'm going to have beanies for days, I do need to make one more, so I have 7. So but I'll have 6 when I finish this one. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I call it beanies for days, because these are so quick and easy to make, so you can literally make one a day. Yes, exactly. That's where the name came from. Okay, so that is the final round for your crown. So that is the crown. Okay, and in the next round, we're going to be, as I said, working on the formula, because it's just repeat for the length. So I will do the first 2 rounds with you, and then obviously you can extend the length however long you want it. So I've done 12 rounds, but you can make it shorter or you can make it longer. Okay, but the 12 rounds was worked out to 8 inches in the length. Okay, and that was just fine for my head. Okay, so I shall see you there. To start the crown, to finish our last round, we did a slip stitch into the first treble front post. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet into our chain 1 space. So now that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, all right? Then we're going to yarn over once, we're going to skip the next treble, so we're going to skip this, and we're going to work a double crochet front post over our next double crochet. Then we're going to work a double crochet into the next double crochet, and then a double crochet front post, and then a double crochet into the chain 1 space. And then we're going to skip the next, so you see we skip that treble front post, we work a double, so we're going to work double crochets into that chain 1 space, and then we'll be working the double crochet into the double crochet for the next 11 round. Well, this is the first round of 12, and then so for all the subsequent rounds. Right, so we skip the next treble front post, we work double crochet front post, double crochet front post, double crochet into the chain 1 space, double crochet front post over the first double crochet into the next double crochet front post over the next double crochet, 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space, double crochet front post over the next double crochet. So we're skipping all of our treble front posts. You're just going to go, and now basically you're going to follow exactly the same sequence of stitches for all of your next rounds. Okay, so the pattern, just get this out. Right, so as you can see the pattern developing. So you're going to have these little holy bits sort of in between like that, and then you'll have a double crochet front post, double crochet front post, double crochet front post, double crochet front post, and you're basically just going to carry on. So I'm going to count, so I'm counting 12 from the double crochet that we made into our first single crochet, our first chain 1 space, right? So the double crochet, so here's our chain, our 2 treble front posts and our chain 1 space in between and our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so I'm going to meet you at the end of this. So when I have 12 rows, right? And before I go though, to carry on with mine, I'm going to just finish off this round with you to show you how to finish off, okay? So I'll see you at the almost end of this round. Okay, so now to finish this round, the first of our length round, we are going to skip so we're going to make our last double crochet front post, then we're going to skip our beginning double crochet, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet front post. Okay, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and then we're going to work a double crochet front post, and then we're going to work a double crochet. So now we're working double crochet front posts over double crochet front posts, and we're working double crochets into double crochets. So the only thing that is a little bit tricky is that finishing off. Okay, so we're on to our second row. Okay, so again, when you come round to the end of this round, you always slip stitch into the top of the treble front post. Then you chain 3 and then you work a double crochet front post over the double crochet front post, okay, that you slip stitched into. All right, and that way what you get is kind of a seamless, like you can't really tell where, you know, you can't, it makes kind of a seamless connection, you know, so you don't see the seam. You don't see the seam at all. All right, so you can't really, I can't even find the seam. All right, so when you do it that way, then you get, you know, you don't have a seam. Okay, so all right, so you know, so don't skip that part, otherwise you are definitely going to see a seam. So again, as I said, as you finish off, you always, and it's in the written pattern, you always finish off with a slip stitch into the double crochet front post. Then you chain 3 and then you work a double crochet front post over the double crochet front post. Okay, right. Have you got that? All right, so you're going to carry on like that for until you reach your length. As I said, I'm working 12 rounds, and I shall see you at the end of the 12th round. Okay, so good luck. If you get stuck, please remember we are always there to help you on the Hooks and Tails Pattern Workshop group, which is on Facebook, and of course all the links are in the written pattern. So if you get stuck with this little odd bit here, just get hold of us and we'll help you through it. So I'm going to see you at the end of round number 12. So as you can see, I've done my 12 rows. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Now, so let me just finish off this round with you. Right, so again, we're just going to slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet front post. Now, just to finish it off, and now you can actually do a few rows of these if you like, but I'm just going to do one row. We're going to be working into those back loops again. So I'm going to chain 1, and then if you turn your work around like that, you're just going to work a single crochet into the back loop of each of the stitches. Okay, like that. So I'm just going to do one row of these, but you can do 2 or 3 rows if you want to kind of make that little border a little deeper. Okay, so you're just going to do that. So you're going to have, it's going to look like that. Okay, which I really like. Just a very, very simple finish, right? And then I shall meet you at, when we come around, and show you how to finish off. Okay, so I've done my single crochets into those back loops, and now you're just going to make the last one and then pull the tail through your loop, your last loop like that, and then we're just going to work an invisible join like that. Well, yeah. side. And then work in your little tail. So I like to carry it all the way down like that. Just kind of weaving in between the stitches. But I mean, you can close off, you know, any way that you want to. Okay, so now, there you go. So maybe I should make this my Sunday beanie, seeing as I'm making it on a Sunday. And this pattern is called Beanie for Days. So, right, so there you go. So we've got 7 inches for the crown, we've got 8 inches for the length, and we've got 20 inches for the circumference, as I said before. Right, so now you should be able to make one a day. So you could make one for the whole family, for yourself, plus your extended family. And you can embellish it any way that you want to, because it's just a very simple design, but I quite like the fact that it's just plain and simple. Okay, so that is the Beanie for Days pattern. As I said, if you need any help or you get stuck, you can just contact us on the Hooks and Tails Pattern Workshop group, or you can send me a message via Ravelry, or you can send me a message via our Hooks and Tails page, the fan page. Okay, if you send me a message on Instagram, I'm not going to answer because I don't really know how to answer messages on Instagram yet. Okay, so there you go. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. But I think whatever I left out, you'll find in the pattern notes. So thank you very much for joining me on another Hooks and Tails adventure. And see you next time.